Good Wednesday evening, folks. Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandajis here with you. I wanted to jump on here on 13 News Now Plus to give you a quick little update on what's going on with Hurricane Erin. No major changes. Forecast remains on track. At the 11 o'clock advisory that came down about 30 minutes ago, no changes in its status in terms of its strength. 110 mile per hour winds, which puts it at a high end Category 2. The Saffir-Simpson scale, 111 is the start of a major hurricane, Category 3. So we're just about there. It's like splitting hairs, but it's not coming any closer to the United States or the eastern seaboard for that matter. It right now is situated, its core, its center, about 200 miles to the southeast of Cape Hatteras, and that's pretty close to the closest approach it'll have to that area. But its wind field, as we had talked about, has been expanding as it's been gaining latitude, and the far western periphery of it, at least the tropical storm force winds moving over the Outer Banks and portions of southeastern Virginia and maybe even up into the Delmarva as well as it begins to pull away. But here's how it looks on satellite imagery. A pretty impressive looking storm. It's very large in size as well, and we're seeing the winds expand out through to quite a great distance away from the center. Now, satellite and radar here does show the extent of the rain bands that are just about to approach the Outer Banks. We're not expecting a lot of rain from this at all, folks. This is not going to be a freshwater flooding event. It's going to be a coastal surge, waves leading to coastal erosion, tidal flooding, that sort of deal. And then, of course, just the gusty, breezy conditions, especially along the immediate coastline over the next 12 to 24 hours. And really, by this time tomorrow, the worst is long gone, and the storm's already pulling away to the east and offshore, all via this front that you can see lurking to the north and west. That's slowly sagging southeast, and that's going to give it its little nudge off to the east and put it on a trajectory away from any land at all. And what's interesting with this is that look back at some stats of any storm on record that's achieved at peak intensity at Category 5. There's only a couple that have not made landfall. Okay, and this is one of them. I think the other two was a storm named Hurricane Lee and then Hurricane Jose. One of them, Jose, did make landfall as an extratropical storm in Ireland. So this is after it looped out to sea. But there's been every other Category 5 that's achieved that status has made landfall. So we're really lucky here, even though we are getting grazed with the far western periphery of the extent of its impacts. It's a far cry of what it could have been, which is some good news there. Yeah, that front saved us moving in from the northwest. And then, by the way, that front's holding back some extremely pleasant weather. Friday and Saturday, exceptional weather days. There's a look at those rain bands. Again, there's some showers, squally showers, really, over portions of the Outer Banks right now, and that'll continue on and off. Nothing really persistent. The extent of the tropical storm force winds, you can see it in the yellow there. That does extend out over the Outer Banks. You can see in that general area here, 39 mile per hour winds or greater. Now, we do have a tropical storm warning that's up, and the criteria for that to be issued is for sustained winds to be 39 miles per hour or greater. And we are not expecting sustained winds to be that strong. There'll be some gusts, tropical storm force, probably higher than that, maybe up to 45 to 50 down through the Outer Banks. But sustained winds, no, probably 15 to 25 at most sustained. So even though there still is a tropical storm warning up for that entire area. So hurricane force winds nowhere close to land. It'll stay out of the open waters of the Atlantic. And then as it moves to the northeast, that wind field is just massive. It'll even graze places like Nantucket, over to Martha's Vineyard, maybe even Cape Cod, and then may even graze far southern portions of Nova Scotia. But again, the storm itself, the core, the center, landfall is defined as the center of the storm intersecting with land. That's not happening with Erin. So here's the latest track from the Hurricane Center, Category 2. It's not going to get any stronger from this point out. There was some speculation with the previous advisories that we may see it intensify back up to a Cat 3. But again, I mentioned we're at 110 now. 111's Cat 3. Doesn't really change anything. So it's a Cat 2 now, and it will be backing down in terms of its sustained winds. Now, the strongest winds by Friday morning, around 100. But the wind field will be huge, so you'll still probably get 60, 70 mile per hour winds, 150 miles from the storm center, even though that will still extend out over open water. So again, the threat will be the next 24 hours, and then beyond that, looking better. Here's a close-up look at our warnings, tropical storm warnings in the yellow there, pretty much from Cape Fear all the way north to central New Jersey. So it covers a large extent of the mid-Atlantic coastline, Again, that's for the wind speeds to be the strongest in those areas. Closer look there doesn't encompass our entire area, our entire coastal area, even the coastal waters of the Chesapeake Bay and the Atlantic Ocean on either side of the eastern shore. So a breakdown of our threats here: gusty winds, low to moderate, tropical storm force. We're not looking at wind gusts to be tearing down trees and power outages and things like that. There'll be some strong wind gusts, but they'll amount to 45 to maybe 50 at the highest down through the Outer Banks. Tidal flooding, I think, will be more prolonged and also more expansive. If you're in an area that typically is vulnerable to a north to northeast wind that drives tides up, you'll probably have some tidal flooding. Now, on top of all that, we do have a new moon coming our way later this weekend. So already tides are astronomically running a little bit higher than normal. You add in a persistent north to northeast wind, wave action, piling up water in the Chesapeake Bay, piling water up into the James River and the York River, you're going to see the levels go up in multiple high tide cycles. The first was tonight, tomorrow morning, Thursday evening, which I expect to be the highest of all four, and then Friday morning as well, running elevated. Again, this is not going to be a rainmaker for us. A few scattered, isolated showers, that's about it, pivoting on in along the outermost bands from the northeast to the south and west. And they'll be quick moving as well. And then the wave action. Could have 12 to 18-foot waves along the Outer Banks, 8 to 12-foot waves in Virginia Beach. So that's going to lead to significant coastal erosion. So be prepared for that. All right, here's a look at some recent wind gusts. Nothing to write home about. 10, 15, 20 miles per hour eastern shore. Starting to see wind gusts, Norfolk, Cape Henry up and over 20 to 25. 20 miles per hour, Currituck, and, you're farther south, farther to the east as well. Close to the center of Erin, you're finding some stronger gusts, 35 mile per hour gust recently at Hatteras and 33 miles per hour out at Oregon Inlet down through the Outer Banks. Just to show you here, futurecast rainfall through tomorrow night, not much. Maybe 1/10 of an inch if we're lucky. Most of us won't see anything at all. So not a freshwater flooding event for us here. Wind speeds, let's jump ahead to tomorrow morning. 30 mile per hour winds maybe right around the coast, 40 down through the Outer Banks. Breezy through the morning up through midday. Even wind gusts over 30 miles per hour inland through south side up through the peninsula, eastern shore, down through the Outer Banks, 40 to 45. And then by Thursday evening, the storm's already beginning to pull away at that point. So the winds will be breezy to blustery, but the strongest will be past by that point. So 25 to 35 south side, Outer Banks still looking at gusts near 40 or so. And then overnight into Friday morning, still breezy. That wind that turns north will start to get a northwest component to it. And boy, I tell you what, when you wake up Friday, it is going to feel fantastic out there. We're going to be in the 60s in some spots inland. Skies will have cleared out overnight. That breeze will be up. Temperatures comfortable. Humidity down. Lots of sunshine expected Friday as well. I mean, I think it's top 10 weather of the year so far on Friday. All right, wave action. Here we are tomorrow morning. Plots here put up to 12 to 20-foot waves along the Outer Banks. Up through Virginia Beach, maybe 12 to 13-foot waves at most. Just a little bit offshore, so certainly some coastal erosion. And even by tomorrow night, we're still looking at some pretty significant wave action there. That's going to lead to ongoing tide values, ongoing coastal erosion even after the storm is long gone. Coastal flood alerts, coastal flood warning up for south side up through the peninsula, eastern shore, coastal flood advisory to the north. And that's for the tidal flooding threat, again, for 4 to 5 high tide cycles. Started tonight, both tides tomorrow, probably both tides on Friday, although a little more favor to the morning high tide for the highest values. And there will be some storm surge with this as well. In the blue shading, up to 3-foot storm surge of inundation. We've got the wind energy that's piling up the water along the coastline. So winds right now out of the east, and they turn northeast. That's blowing in all the water up into river inlets, and then once they shift around out of the north, it's going to be sound side flooding on the Outer Banks side. But down through the Outer Banks where it's yellow, that's up to 4-foot storm surge inundation there. Already starting to see overwash in places like Hatteras Island, up to Buxton, up to Rodanthe. NC-12 is washed out in numerous locations already, and that was just one high tide cycle tonight. Got 3 more to go. And up to 4-foot storm surge is quite significant for this area because the average elevation is around 8 to 12 feet at most. There are certainly areas that are low-lying or even below sea level that this is going to be significantly affecting. So that's something to pay attention to. All right, we've got updated tide projections, tidal flooding projections, I should say. So Sewell's Point did see those numbers tick up a little bit, particularly for tomorrow night's high tide, and that looks to be the peak. 5.9, which would mean moderate tidal flooding at Sewell's Point for tomorrow night. Major tidal flooding out at Lynnhaven Inlet, up to 6 feet projected now for Thursday night. Yorktown, moderate for tomorrow night, 5.2 feet, and even minor tidal flooding for both high tides on Friday. And down to Duck, minor tomorrow morning, but major 7 feet tidal flooding projections here for Thursday night. Moderate still on Friday morning and back down to minor by Friday evening. So here's again the look at the peak high tides, which is going to be Thursday night, tomorrow night, between 7 and 9, depending on the location. It varies. Moderate tidal flooding, Sewell's Point. Moderate at Yorktown. Major at Lynnhaven Inlet. Major out at Duck Pier. So keep that in mind. If you're in an area that's vulnerable for that, you can expect tidal flooding tomorrow. All right, Futurecast here, just to show you that we're not going to see a whole lot of rain at all. Okay, Futurecast tomorrow morning, cloudy, some breaks of sunshine here and there, too. It'll be a blustery day as well. Here's a few of the outer bands bringing us a few showers pivoting through northeast to southwest quite fast by early afternoon, just after lunchtime. Still a few more shower chances in there, too. And then by 8 o'clock sunset, we're starting to see the cloud deck retreat to the east and offshore. And then here we are by Friday morning. 64 at Williamsburg, feeling great. A north to northwest breeze, 10 to 15 miles per hour, driving down lower humidity as well, and a clearing sky. And I expect a lot of sunshine during the day on Friday. Here we are through midday. Temperatures will max out in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Low, comfortable humidity. And I tell you what, Friday night into Saturday, I know we've got high ragweed pollen count right now, but if you're one that doesn't have seasonal allergies, this is a great night to turn off the AC, give it a break, and open up the windows. It's going to feel very, very comfortable with dew points falling into the 50s and lower 60s, with air temperatures as well in the upper 60s to around 70 for Friday night into Saturday morning. And the nice weather is not only here for Friday, it spills over into the weekend. Saturday looks great as well. Sunny and beautiful, lower humidity, 82, 84 on Sunday. Great conditions as well, maybe an isolated shower chance in there as well. And then if you like the cooler weather, we've got a nice treat for you as we wrap up the month. We wrap up meteorological summer, really. We've got a surge of some below normal temperatures spilling south from Canada over the eastern 2/3 of the country. And as we get towards the last couple days of the month, you see that dark blue there, that lobe that does start to move into Virginia. And how does that reflect our temperatures? Well, once we hit the middle of next week, forecasting highs in the upper 70s. And then past that into Labor Day weekend, we could be looking at sustained highs in the mid to upper 70s. It'll be feeling great. We'll leave you tonight with the updated 7-day forecast. Weather impact alert day tomorrow. Breezy to windy day, especially at the coast. Coastal flooding, tidal flooding at high tide tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, and Friday. And then sunshine returns, and we've got a beautiful stretch of weather coming our way. So, folks, that's the latest on Hurricane Erin. No major changes. Daybreak starts tomorrow morning at 4:30. Hunter Forrest and Evan Stewart will be in here in studio for more coverage of Hurricane Erin. And myself and Taylor Stephenson will be back tomorrow evening for more Hurricane Erin coverage before it finally exits and we can stop talking about it. We've been talking about it for like 12 days. Tired of it. But we'll have more coverage for you tomorrow. Have a great night.